This video is for 9.1. It's talking about angles, introduction to angles. As we get started, number 1, classify the 4 angles of the quadrilateral. Angle B, we see here the measure is less than 90 degrees. If it's less than 90 degrees, it's an acute angle. Acute is always less than 90. So less than 90. Obtuse is greater than 90. And a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. So if we look at angle A is exactly 90 degrees, so that's a right angle. Angle C, 105, that's obtuse, greater than 90 degrees. And angle D, again, is exactly 90 degrees. So we just need to remember that. Right angle equals 90 degrees. An acute angle is anything less than 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is anything more than 180 degrees. Use the figure to follow the instructions below. Write 2 other names for angle 1. Angle 1 is this angle right here. And we know that because it's got the 1 right there. Okay? So what else do we know about that angle? It has endpoints, or not necessarily endpoints, but the rays BA and BC. So it's got the vertex of B. So we could say this is angle ABC because we can go from here to here and back out again. And just the same way, we could start at C, go to C, B, A. Now, could we ever do B, A, C? No, because it's got to be in order. The B has to be in the middle, because in this angle, the B is in the middle. The other 2 letters, it doesn't matter what order they're in, but the B has to be in the middle. So that tells us that this name for angle 1 could be angle ABC, all capital letters, or it could be angle CBA. Angle 2. Name the sides of angle 2. Angle 2 we see has a side right here and a side down here. This side starts at point B and looks like it's a ray that goes through C. A ray keeps going forever. So we're going to use that information and say it's a ray BC. Now we have to be careful, make sure the B is at the end point because that's where it ends, and C is at the arrow because that's where it continues on forever. And with the same thought in mind, we can say ray BD. Angles are usually made of rays, and that's important to remember. Name the vertex of angle DBC. Angle DBC. What's the vertex? The vertex is right here, B. Vertex just means where they're coming together. Number 3. We need to draw an 85 degree angle using a ruler and protractor. So first, what I'm going to do is get an arrow, just draw the ruler and draw a line. And to draw the line, just use the pencil tool on the ruler, just like that. Next, we're going to get the protractor. And we're going to put the protractor right here on the line. If we start at 0, we can do that and then make a mark. What I like to do is just move the protractor until we get to 85 degrees and then lock it in there by clicking. Then get the pencil and just use the other side of the the protractor as a straight edge. And that gives me my angle. So right there's an 85-degree angle. With that in mind, let's say we had to do a 140-degree angle. So if, for example, this said, do a 140. If that were the case, I would still have my line, just like this. And you just click once and then click again to lock it. Then I get my pencil, draw a straight line. Then I get my protractor and put it on the edge of the line. And then I just move the protractor until I get to 140 degrees. Just like that. And then click again to lock it. And then use the pencil to draw the rest of the angle. And that would be 140 degrees. So there's, no matter what angle you need to work on, you can go through. And there's other ways to do it. You can definitely draw a little mark on top or something like that. With this program, I find that a little hard to do. Even regular, if you just have a straight line and then just line your protractor up, in this case to 85 degrees, you automatically have a straight line right here. And you don't have to move anything around, you can just draw your straight line. So that's how you do create an angle with this program. Number 4. In the figure below, measure of angle 1, is 83. And the whole thing, TSW, so this angle, TSW, the whole thing is 141. I don't know what this one is, but I know I have to add them together. To get 141. Now let's just solve for x. So minus 83, and I get x equals 141 minus 83. And I'm going to do that on the calculator really quick, and that's 58. And that's all you have to do with a problem like this, is just find out what each of the angles are and how they add up to get the total. Or if you know both of these, you add them together to find the missing major angle. It's best to sketch this out and do it on scratch paper. In the figure below, the measure of, and that's what that little m means, the measure of angle ABD, the whole thing, is 116. The measure of angle 1 is 3 times the measure of angle 2. Well, this is a little more tricky, but we can still get through this, no problem. We know that 1 plus 2, the angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 116 degrees. We know that angle 1 is 3 times as big as angle 2. So instead of having the angle 1 there, I'm just going to put 3 times measure of angle 2. And that's an angle, not less than. I know it's easy to forget that. So that's why we're going to go through here. Instead of angle 2, I'm going to change that to an x. So we know that angle 2 is x. Angle 1 is 3 times as big as x. But together, they make 116 degrees. So now we've got 4x equals 116. Now all we have to do is just simply divide 116 divided by 4, and that is 29. And so that's x. Well, what is x? X is the measure of angle 2. And that's why it's always good to sketch it down on paper. So the measure of angle 2 is x. X is 29. Now what if it asks us to find the measure of angle 1? Well, we just do 29 times 3, and that would be the measure of angle 1 right there. So we can find either angle. Just plug in what we know for x. Plug it in. Number 6, the measure of angle 2 is 57 degrees. Find the measure of angle 1. Well, this little box right here tells us that the whole thing is 90 degrees. If this is 90 degrees, we just take 90 minus 57, and that gives us the other one, because we know that this, angle 2 plus angle 1, has to equal 90 degrees. And if we know that measure of angle 2 is 57, we don't know what 1 is, but we know that 57 plus that angle, angle 1, has to equal 90. So we just subtract 57 from both sides, and we get x equals 33. And that's the measure of angle 1 if we just plug it in there. So that's 33. Number 7. In the figure below, measure of angle 1, right here, equals x plus 39. And the measure of angle 2 is 2x. And we see with this box right here that it has to equal 90 degrees. So x plus 39 plus 2x has to equal 90 degrees. I'm just taking measure of angle 1, which is x plus 39, adding it to angle 2, which is 2x. When we add those together, we get 90 degrees. Well, let's combine like terms. What's x and 2x? That would give us 3x plus 39 equals 90, minus 39 from both sides. And we have 3x, and I'll do that on the calculator just to make sure I've got it right. 3x equals 51. Divide by 3. Divide by 3, and we see that x equals 17. Now this is not our answer. This is x right here. So we need to take that x and plug it right back in. What's 2 times 17? That is 34. So the measure of angle 2 is 34. Now if we go to measure of angle 1, x plus 39, or 17 plus 39, just plug in the 17, and you have 56. There's the two angles. So that's how you do it. Just remember to combine angles if you need to. Hopefully this helps with the assignment. Let me know if you have any questions.